You talk about things like mechanical weed removal and tillage and all of that, or on the other side of things, like really harsh herbicides. What are the obstacles that farmers are facing in the herbicide, or maybe the better word is weed control? What are the obstacles they're facing in the weed control area that would make it harder to move towards this regenerative space?
Well, the big part of it is weed resistance, and that's the big issue that we've all been battling for the last 10, 15 years. As more and more Roundup has been used, there's more and more weeds that are Roundup resistance, and now there's a lot more different groups of herbicides that are showing resistance. And the only way to combat it is to use combinations of these herbicides. And so farmers are a little bit strapped in terms of what they feel like that they can do. And as you think about regenerative systems and the use of cover crops in order to create another way of weed control, that's also an area of learning and trial and error. And cover crop usage for that use alone will vary across the country. And so that's why this farmer-to-farmer network is so important, so they can share their experiences of what works well and what doesn't work well. But the equipment companies need to step up, provide better, equipment that supports those types of agronomic practices. You see a lot of farmers, and I've got one just across the road, who just make their own adaptations, and they're very skilled in on-farm engineering, and so there's a lot to learn from that too.
I think that's interesting, just thinking about, we think about sometimes these big sort of changes in an industry coming from one person or two people, or sort of a big overarching group. But it really does sound like it needs to be truly a grassroots thing of like everybody sort of talking to each other and deciding this is how the industry wants to move.
It does. And, but there's so much fractionation in the industry in any case, whether it's by commodity groups or by land grant institutions, and also within USDA and other government entities, that there's just a lot of fractured nature that it's not invented here type of mentality. And, I'll cite one example. When we started the soil renaissance back in 2013, we knew we had to have a cross-section of everybody sitting at the table to solve the soil health issue and understand what research needed to be done in the area of soil biology. And so we had farmers, and prominent farmers, conventional and organic. We had academicians from land-grant universities. We had from ARS at the USDA. We had everybody at the table. And everybody got behind that collaborative effort, and it culminated to about 500 people that we had working in this direction. So it can be done. It just takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of energy, and you have people getting on the wagon, you have people getting off the wagon, but that's okay as long as everything's moving forward.